Good afternoon. My name is Simon, and I will talk to you a little bit about the music industry. Okay, so in response to your question there, the music industry is primarily it's a business, isn't it? So it's about making money for the organisations that run it, those institutions that control 99% or 97% of the industry. So my experience in the music industry is limited, but I do have quite a lot of experience or knowledge of it from friends that were actually involved in the industry. For example, one of my friends who I was in a band with, his dad was lead singer of a really successful 1960s band called the Hollies, who had 28 top 10 hits between, I think, the years of 1964 and 1988, and a couple of number one hits. But they signed a really bad deal at the beginning of their career, which was binding. So they only ever got, I think, 1% of the gross profits from their recordings. So although they were massively successful in the 60s, they didn't even end up millionaires. The singer, yeah, still working in his 60s, and that's why the band is still touring. That's why a lot of these 60s bands still end up touring. More recent experiences, I've got another friend that was in a quite successful dance band in the late 90s who he later recorded stuff for Fast and Furious soundtracks along with David Arnold. And he talked about how, as a musician, he was kind of pushed in a certain direction by the label. The label at the time was EMI, and they pushed him, marketed him, pigeonholed him almost into sounding like the Prodigy. They sort of said, we will give you more money for your second album if you try and sound a bit more like them, because they were big at the time. It wasn't really a direction he was comfortable going in, but they did that. And of course the first single wasn't successful. I think it failed to hit the charts. So the band the label stopped promoting it. So they withdrew a lot of their funding for it. The first single wasn't a success. They weren't going to sort of bother pushing the album. And they very quickly got dropped. And as a byproduct of that, part of his contract, his deal with the label, was that he ended up owing them lots of money because they gave him such a big advance and they never recouped the advance. So to summarise, 99% of artists that go into the industry fail. Only 1% are successful. Most people get exploited. However, the industry has changed somewhat in the last few years.
So
We'll stop there.